Midterm by-elections are always difficult for incumbent governments, and the circumstances of these by-elections were, of course, particularly challenging. But also shows that there isn't a huge amount of enthusiasm for the alternative in Keir Starmer and the Labour Party.
This interview this morning, right? Whew! Jeepers.
But also shows that there isn't a huge amount of enthusiasm for the alternative in Keir Starmer and the Labour Party.
Like, I don't know what they do to private school kids to give them this unshakable self-confidence. You know, the entitlement. This self-belief that you should still be Prime Minister, or you should still be Cabinet Minister, or newspaper editor, or whatever the job is that one of these private school people takes on. This idea that you should still be that, even after all of the evidence is telling you that you suck at it. You know? What do they do to these kids at private school to deliver them that unshakable self-belief?
But also shows that there isn't a huge amount of enthusiasm for the alternative in Keir Starmer and the Labour Party.
Like, you would think that taking them away from their parents, right, and caning them over some fat, grey-haired fucker's Victorian desk night after night, you'd think that would leave them feeling unloved and abandoned and worthless, wouldn't you? You would think it would weave in or sow the seeds of crushingly low self-esteem, perhaps, and they'd all just be recording self-satisfied satirical podcasts instead to chase approval that way. But no, it turns out that sending children to private school and denying them a frequent supply of parental love, care and protection actually generates pure, undiluted self-confidence. How does that become this? It's incredible. And he says, the results show that there isn't a huge amount of enthusiasm for the alternative. That's what the results show. So in Sunak's mind, in Rishi Sunak's mind, you can win a constituency seat. You can win two of them, in fact, that were formerly safe seats for your, like, what's the word? Competitor, right? You can win these safe seats off them. But rather than that showing that people want these guys in power, what it actually shows is that people aren't that bothered about you. They voted you in because they're not really that fussed about you. like, I wish I had his self-confidence. I really do. Just imagine what you could achieve if you weren't held back by logic and a mostly well-founded belief that there are limits to your ability and popularity, and that it's possible that some people out there might tire of you. Imagine what you could achieve if you weren't tempered by logic and reality. God, what might be possible for me if you had that Winchester, Westminster and Eton private school arrogance buggered into you by the housemaster every detention. What might be possible for you? Like, is that how it starts, do you think? Is that how this sort of self-confidence and entitlement and booming self-worth, is that how it actually starts to take root? Like, someone like Rishi Sunak he's a regular kid, hanging out with his mates. You know, he's cracking jokes with his friends. And then he says something that's it's a bit untoward, or maybe there's a bit colourful of language in there, and the teacher overhears it. And, you know, where he would have previously grown up as a regular teenager and then a regular 20-something or something, right? The punishment at these stuffy establishment schools is perhaps so abusive and severe that the housemaster has him back after school in detention, but it's like half punishment and half encouragement, you know? It's like, you don't use language like that, Sunak, you don't. It's disrespectful, but God, this is good. God, you're so good, Rishi.